Next is back to the hack. This happened during the only time that my only source of support was going on a 3-week trip to Thailand in December. You might ask why only support. I dropped all my friends and family. That might be a longer story I might go back to. But essentially, I was just mad at the time at my perspective of lack of support, lack of a lot of things, and so I dropped all of them. There were still cousins and people that I was close to, but I just got to a point where I was like, all right, like I need somewhere to be, and when I stay at someone's for 2 days, what about the next 4 months? I really need to get on my feet. Maybe it was me. Maybe I should have just not been so stubborn, and I was stubborn. If you know anything about my character Rai, he is stubborn, and so you should read the book and know. But ultimately, I had let go of all my family, except for my grandpa. But I was already relying on my grandpa, and when I had moved out for the last time, because he was always there for me in every way, no questions asked. He said, "All right, if you move out again, I can be able to move back in." And this is when I was moving in with my best friend at the time. So essentially, I dropped all my friends as well. It was a mixture of I just knew that none of them were incorporating the thing that I wanted to do or the person I wanted to be. And even when I was hanging out with a ton of people, I never really accepted anyone except for very few as friends because I don't know, I didn't want to be attached to any one group, and I always just bounced around. And I went from country dancing for a few years to raving and then to just other things. I've tested it all and it was nice. But ultimately, I had dropped every friend, and including my last friend eventually, for reasons I'll get into when I tell the past of everything. But I could tell you, I dropped him and then rekindled a friendship after many months, or 8 months, and then re-dropped because essentially during the hacking situation, I had reached out and I was like, hey, I need your help. Please post. Please say my story or anything and didn't do anything. This person would drive hours to go watch someone perform a rave, but wouldn't sit on the toilet and do a repost. And so I decided to spam him in texts and calls one day until forcing him to do it. And then instead of doing what I was asking, he flipped it around and just unfollowed me. And I was like, fine, forget this, I'm done, and I cut it off. But I was being a little pushy in the day, especially considering he had work. But I just wanted support, and so that's where I lost the last friend, and I was just on myself from then on, and I was stubborn enough to keep it that way.